Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Talk Williams, host and creator of what? Hip Hop 50th. I just had a very interesting conversation with two wonderful ladies. Yeah, just think about it. About, I don't know, I'm gonna say 10 or 15 yards from where I'm standing at right now, I had the privilege of asking two beautiful women, do you use AI? Do you use ChatGPT? Do you use any AI tools? And to my surprise, one of them definitely said no, they pushed back. And that kind of caught me, because these are not like OG women. They're not in my age range. So I'm like, okay, these women are active. Why would she push back so readily and say no? And without hesitation, she told me why. She says that she's all about the earth and that she wants to keep her carbon footprint at a minimum. And as far as she's concerned, it's too much AI. It's just tearing down all of it. It requires too much power. It's the gravity of it. It's just too much. It's not healthy for the earth. And as much as I didn't want to hear that, and as much as I pride myself on being able to respond immediately to any pushback that people give me, in the year of 2025, when we talk about AI, when we talk about technology, when we talk about the trajectory of this economy that we're in, I was kind of silent for a minute. Because the number one argument that I have to agree with when it comes to AI, that's just undisputable, is the power grid, is the carbon footprint, is what it takes of the earth to actually run these LLMs, these large language models, whether it be Microsoft's Copilot, OpenAI's ChatGPT, Elon Musk's Grok, Anthropic's Claude, Perplexity, 11 Labs, Google's Gemini, and the list goes on and on. Llama, Facebook or Meta, and the list goes on and on. Salesforce, Einstein, Adobe's, Firefly. So I'm giving you the company, I'm giving you the AI engine or the model or the large language model, at least one of the primary ones that they're using behind it. What does it take? The carbon footprint that she spoke about. The first thing I thought was, okay, that let me know that I need to do a little more research about that carbon footprint, that AI that I'm so excited about. And I am not an evangelist, but I am a person that pushes not only the, let's say, the literacy of it, but definitely the adoption and awareness. That's where I am. I am definitely of that. I am of the school of thought that the three must, if there was three must for AI, it would be literacy, or let me put it in this order. Awareness, becoming aware of it. Literacy, becoming more cognizant or knowledgeable somewhat of it. And definitely adoption. But she checked me. She clipped me in football. They would have threw a flag against this young woman when she hit me with the carbon footprint, when she hit me with the earth, when she told me that it's more important for us to be here on God's given or the Creator's creation with good air to breathe and wonderful trees to see and grass and plants and vegetations than it is to streamline a process, than it is to have deep learning, to have algorithms running things, to have people replaced and displaced, especially people of the knowledge economy. So this whole little live that I'm doing now is really surrounded around the carbon footprint of AI collectively, as a collective unit, because she wasn't picking on ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the one, and that company is OpenAI. ChatGPT is the artificial intelligence chatbot that invited all of us into the living room, into the kitchen, into the hallways, into the attic, into the basement of artificial intelligence. True, artificial intelligence has been around for decades, for generations. Because what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is just the way, and I hate to use just because that's not a good choice of words, but in a sense, it's a way of using technology to mimic the intelligence of human beings. The goal is to have AI, whether it be the robots, whether it be the chatbots, whether it be the applications, whatever that is, the different models, whether they're reflexive models, reactive models, whether they're proactive models or progressive models like agentic AIs, to become sentient, S-E-N-T-I-E-N-T, sentient, meaning not emotionally in and of itself, but so aware, especially contextually, about the conversation, about the spirit of things, that you won't be able to really tell if you're engaging a human being or our robot. That's the goal. And they're off to a good start of here late. They've been started, but of here late, they jumped up exponentially by using artificial intelligence. Then you have a subset, deep learning. Then under the subset of deep learning, we have the neural networks that mimics our brain, our nerve network of the brain. The brain is not a muscle. It's a collection, it's a collage, it's a bundle, it's a highway, it's a interstate of nerves. So that neural network that you hear about, that deep learning that you hear about, the algorithms that you hear about, the machine learning that you hear about, again, that deep learning, 3 or more layers or over 3 layers, the arrays, the matrices, the lattices, all of that, the weights, the tokens, the tokenizers, all of that, the minutiae, when you get into the minutiae in terms of the principles and concepts involved in these large language models, it's exciting, it's interesting. At least it is to me. I've identified several use cases, several personal use cases, several business use cases, several employment use cases for different models of AI, different applications of AI. When it comes to voice, if I want to double voice or do something like that, I use 11 Labs. I'm a content creator, so if I want to create thumbnails and banners and different things like that for my YouTube channel, I'll use CapCut. If I want to actually do some Photoshop where I'm taking still images and I want to color correct or color grade them or massage or scrub through and do some things in post, meaning after I take the still photo, whether it be on my phone or with a DSLR camera, I can go into Lightroom, I can go into Adobe Express, I can go into Adobe Photoshop itself and take advantage of Firefly, which it's the back-end AI engine for the Adobes. My daily or weekly use of Salesforce, the #1 CRM, customer relation management system in the entire world. If it's not #1, it's #2. What is this back end AI engine? It's Einstein. You use Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Access. What's behind it? Copilot, all of these artificial intelligent engines, all of this machine learning, deep learning, tokenizing, neural networks, the whole thing. But she did silence me when she said carbon footprint. I'll leave it at that. Now, my argument or my premise doesn't go away. I still encouraged her and the other beautiful woman to just become aware, become literate somewhat, gain some knowledge about AI and its uses, and maybe adopt some practices. Why? Because these two young ladies are what I would classify as knowledge workers. AI in and of itself, the jobs that it's going to replace, initially it's all about augmentation. Augmentation. Augmentation is the process of making something better, improving upon. That's what it's all about, augmenting. AUGMENT, augment, right? So this process of augmentation with AI is going to be around for a while. Eventually, though, you'll hear less about augmenting and you'll hear more about replacement. And what I'm saying to you guys, if you're a knowledge worker, and I know that's an uncomfortable or unheard of, or it's not really a cliche yet. What the hell is talking about a knowledge worker? What does he mean in the knowledge economy? A knowledge worker is a person that you work somewhere or you have a business and your primary task, the thing that you pay yourself or a company pays you to do is this. What do you mean this, Top? You're being paid in your capacity to perform processing, data analyzing, whatever it is involving analyzing, processing, moving, viewing, weighing in, entry, anything that involves any type of information or content or processes. You're being paid for your understanding of being able to use certain applications, certain software, certain programs. You're a knowledge worker. You're not really being paid to sit there with a client or constituent or customer. You're not that person. You're not shaking hands with several individuals a day. You're not performing different tasks every day. You're performing maybe 20 things in a different order, depending on the configuration, depending on the challenges, depending on what you have to do. You're a knowledge worker. AI is coming for several levels of that knowledge worker. But before it comes in with a broad push broom and just sweep the floor, like trying to get the dust off of a gym floor before there's a big game that night, guess who it's going to do? Guess who's going to be replacing people? The people who are aware, and the people who are literate, and the people who have adopted AI. But the people that's walking around sounding like artifacts of dinosaurs. I don't mess with AI. I don't want to hear about AI. You won't be there. You won't be there. Because you're not with the program. See, the program is coming. I like old school hip hop. It makes me think of the movie State Property with Benny Siegel when he was running around crazy in Harlem in Brooklyn and he was telling them dudes, get down or lay down. That's AI. For all us knowledge workers, and we're part of the knowledge economy, if you currently have a job where you don't shake hands and hug and sit down and break bread and chop it up with clients, customers, or constituents of your business or of the company you work for, you're a knowledge worker. That's what you do. You're getting paid for that degree. You're getting paid because they trained you how to navigate the systems. And you do it good. Those redundant things, no matter the order, no matter the order that you do, that I do, that anybody does, AI agents are coming down the pipeline to replace us. It's just a reality. That's why now you hear about AI, and now you hear about agentic AI. Listen to what I'm saying. You hear about AI, and now you hear about agentic AI. A real quick example of AI in and of itself is me and you going back and forth with ChatGPT. Me and you going back and forth with Gemini. Me and you going back and forth with Claude. Me and you going back and forth with Perplexity. Me and you going back and forth, just back and forth. What do I mean back and forth? We enjoy, we're interested, we're excited about the idea that we can sit there with a large language model or a chat bot and prompt it or ask it a question and then respond, get a response, and then ask it another question and then get a response and then say, yeah, that was cool, man, but I was looking for this and I also want to consider this and I want to consider this. That's AI. That's us going back and forth with the large language model. That's what that is. Agentic AI is what's going to replace a lot of people because agentic AI can perform tasks. Agentic AI, the design and the goal of agentic AI is not to sit there and go back and forth with you like we just kicking it until I get it. No. Agentic AI is going to see what the goal is, going to get some clarity, and it's going to go into the systems. And it's going to go into the areas that the first level customer service wasn't hired to do, isn't paid to do, and wasn't trained to do. And it's going to connect to the other areas of the systems. And you say, well, Taka, how is going to do that? It's going to be authorized? What is it going to do? Yeah, it's going to be authorized. And it's going to connect through a whole slew and series of APIs and MCPs. Yeah. Application programming interfaces and model context protocol. It's just going to use a bunch of APIs and a bunch of MCPs. And you say, how is it going to do that? Because you know how somebody called a first level customer service or tech support, and they can only read your account. They can only see certain things, but they can't really do the work. Because they got to transfer you to a department or put an email in, or you got to call them 9 o'clock when they open in the morning. That's going to be over with. Because an agentic agent with an IC at the end, an agentic agent will be able to do the work the first level customer service, the first level call center people, the first level tech support can't do. Because it will have access to other parts of the system without that department even being open. Whether it's through AOF or some other type of open authorization where they can get access through the systems, but not actually needing the credentials. Let me just put it that way. I know I'm getting a little more technical, a little more silly with the jargon, but let me circle back. She shut me up for a minute by saying, I'm concerned about the carbon footprint. But once, I got up off the floor from that low blow she gave me on my right side, my kidney, I had to hold my breath. I dropped to my knees and I had to gather my thoughts. I had to get back up and tell her anyway, it's coming. Carbon footprint or not, it's here. All right, peace out, y'all. It's your boy, Talk Williams, host and creator of What? Hip Hop 50th. Sub me up, man. Like me, hate me, leave a comment, critique. That's what it's all about, man. It's a dialogue. Peace.